a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Baseball game day, twilight meet day at Hayward Field. Oregon softball gaining some momentum heading into the postseason with some postseason Big Ten awards. Even with the result last night, some positivity around Oregon softball. We'll break all that down. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for joining us. I'll tell you, too, there's also a fun event going on for Oregon football. Every year around this time, they do an annual networking event that's beyond football networking, career networking. We'll have some updates on that coming up a little bit later on today. We've also got some good news around the greater Oregon athletics landscape today. Oregon will honor Bob Kilkenny at the field dedication here coming up tonight at PK Park. Bob Kilkenny will have the field at PK Park named for him. More details on that on our broadcast tonight and more coming your way here today on Duck Insider. Let's begin with our softball honors. Melissa Lombardi, who led Oregon to the 2025 Big Ten regular season title, was named the conference's Coach of the Year today. First Coach of the Year honor for Melissa Lombardi, the program's fifth award all time. Lombardi's win highlighted a banner day of all-conference selections for Oregon. 5 Ducks were named to the All-Big Ten first team, while 2 more made the second team. 3 Ducks were named to the All-Freshman team. An additional 3 Ducks were named to the All-Big Ten defensive team. Riley McCoy, who was named to all 3 teams, and Lindsey Grine were unanimous choices for the All-Big Ten first team. They were joined on the squad by Kai Lushar, Kedri Lushar, and Paige Sinicki as the Ducks placed a league-best 5 players on the first team. And Lindsey Grine, Kai Lushar, Riley McCoy, Kedri Lushar, and Paige Sinicki. Kaylin Jones and Elise Sokolski were each named to the Big Ten second team. Deserving. Very deserving. Riley McCoy, Paige Sinicki, and Kedri Lushar were also named to the all-defensive team, something that the Big Ten Coach of the Year in Melissa Lombardi really values. The Ducks pride themselves on playing great defense, have throughout the entire season. Kedri Lushar has been a highlight reel in the outfield. Paige Sinicki has consistently been excellent in the infield. And Riley McCoy looks like one of the best players in the country as a freshman, a truly well-rounded player. Stephanie Maake joined Kaylin Jones and Riley McCoy on the all-freshman team. Remember that freshman phenoms poster that we put up in the studio? I got to tell you, I mean, the only reason Emma Cox isn't on that list is because she got banged up. Otherwise, I think she would have been on that all-freshman team. Senior catcher Abby Mulvey was the team's Big Ten Sportsmanship Award honoree. It is the 5th time in program history that Oregon has claimed a League's Coach of the Year honors. Congratulations to Coach Lombardi. 5 first-team selections is one off the school's all-time high of 6 all-conference first-team selections in 2013. The Big Ten Coach of the Year, Melissa Lombardi. All Big Ten first team, Lindsey Grine, Kai Lushar, Kedri Lushar, Riley McCoy, Paige Sinicki. All Big Ten second team, Kaylin Jones, Elise Sokolski. All Big Ten defensive team, Riley McCoy, Paige Sinicki, Kedri Lushar. The all-freshman team, Kaylin Jones, Stephanie Maake, Riley McCoy, and the Sportsmanship Award goes to Abby Mulvey. Congratulations to all the conference honorees for Oregon softball here today. And a 5-0 loss to Michigan yesterday isn't going to feel any better with those all-conference honorees. Coach Lombardi told Rob Mosley, who's out covering the event as part of his editor-in-chief duties for GoDucks.com, Melissa Lombardi told Rob, quote, "We're not done. There's so much more to do, but in order for that to happen, we've got to be better than what we showed today. Michigan played really, really well on all sides of the ball. We didn't play well enough, and that's the difference." That's Coach Lombardi. The Ducks were shut out for just the second time this season. So maybe you could chalk this up to, look, it's just a bad day. Michigan had some momentum. Michigan had to win that game in a lot of ways, depending on what happens now moving forward in the postseason. But Coach Lombardi said it's tough. We had some balls that we hit hard right at people, some things that didn't go our way, but we just needed more than that. We needed more than that. Coach Lombardi's never going to mince words. Right to the point. And I'll tell you, too, I think that now with the regionals, I've seen lots of projections. There's going to be a lot of debate of who are the regional hosts. I still think, regardless of the loss in this Big Ten tournament, which is single elimination, I think the Ducks should be a regional host. I still think that they've assembled one of the best resumes in the entire country. Just look at the all-conference honors that the Ducks garnered. And we've also seen something pretty historic over the course of this entire season with, one, the freshmen, but two, the ability to steal bases for this team. Kai Luchar tied the program career record for stolen bases held by Janie Takeda, now Reed, married former Oregon baseball player Jake Reed. Janie Takeda Reed, that's a heck of a name to be in the same sentence with in terms of Oregon softball legends. That selection show is coming up Sunday at 4 o'clock on ESPN2. We'll find out the Oregon softball postseason fate. I think that overall, the season that they put together deserves a national seed, certainly deserves a regional host. I saw some of the conversation yesterday, and I was surprised that, well, I think Oregon's a really strong 2 seed. The Ducks won the Big Ten regular season title, have one of the best well-rounded teams in the entire country by every metric. You can't just go by what the RPI says. The RPI just doesn't work in the diamond sports. And I'll just say this, there's a reason that basketball changed. It's the net ranking now, not the RPI. It's quite literally a different metric. Similar, but a different metric. I think Oregon should be hosting at the Jane. We'll find out for sure on Sunday. I obviously see things through green and yellow lenses. Totally get it. I feel like the national perspective is that Oregon is one of the best teams in the country. Oregon baseball also hoping to host a regional coming up at PK Park. And they've got 6 regular season games left to try to earn that regional host. Right now, the Ducks are showing up in projections from all the collegiate baseball outlets as a regional host. And that path now goes through a rivalry series against the Huskies. That's right. Washington at number 5, Oregon tonight, 6:05 at PK Park, the first pitch. We will have a 5:45 pregame show for you across the Oregon Sports Network. And look, here's the deal. The fans have been awesome at PK Park this year. The Ducks have already broken the season attendance record. Looks like Oregon baseball will break the average attendance record. And a beautiful night, 70 and sunny at first pitch today. And a fan fest will be going on today and tomorrow around Oregon baseball from 3 to 6 p.m. And then tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fan fest is free. Join the fun. Enjoy some music, food trucks, a raffle, beer sales, and more. Located in the area between Autzen Stadium and Pape Field. You can get your game tickets, but the fan fest is free. 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and noon, Oregon baseball against Washington here this weekend. The Huskies are 5th in the standings. The Ducks are 3rd in the Big Ten standings. And remember, Oregon right now is 3.5 games back of conference leading Iowa. Iowa is out of conference this weekend. We know what the Iowa conference record is going to be when the Ducks head to Iowa next Thursday for a long trip that begins in Iowa and then will conclude with the Big Ten tournament for Oregon baseball. I'm telling you, Ducks take care of business against Washington, then they control their destiny for a Big Ten title when they play at Iowa. Yes, UCLA is above them in the standings, need UCLA to lose one game, but the goal for the Ducks is to win out at PK Park, then win out at Iowa. If Oregon wins the next 6 games, I like their chances. Sure, UCLA, 1 game up on the Ducks in the standings, could still get it done, but I like Oregon's chances. I really do if they win all 6 here down the stretch. And fans can make a difference. FanFest will be fun around PK Park starting at 3 o'clock today and 11 a.m. tomorrow with a 6 o'clock first pitch tonight and a 2 o'clock first pitch on Saturday. Also, Oregon Track and Field will close out the regular season home schedule with the Oregon Twilight tonight at Hayward Field. Duck seniors will be recognized at 8:20 p.m. The meet begins at 4 o'clock this afternoon with the men's javelin and running events getting going at 5 p.m., kicked off by the middle school mile. It's one of the best things we do at Hayward Field. The B sections at the 1,500 meters will be the first collegiate races of the day. Friday's schedule features several special events and recognitions, maybe most notably in memory of an Oregon legend and beloved Hayward Field official. The program is introducing the Wade Bell 800 meters beginning at 8:05 tonight. Bell was the 1967 NCAA champion in the event for the men of Oregon, the 800 meters. He was a 1968 Olympian in Mexico City and served as a meet official for more than 50 years. So cool that the program is doing this. The Wade Bell 800 meters begin at 8:05. Longtime meet official and a former Olympian getting some recognition, which is pretty outstanding. The night's final event, the Bill McChesney Jr. 1,500 meters, is scheduled to feature a couple pretty amazing individuals. Just stick around for that 1,500 meter, including Simeon Birnbaum. It will be Birnbaum's first individual race of the outdoor season, having opened with relay duties 2 weeks ago at the Penn Relays. Check it out. I'm telling you, it's worth your time. The schedule will be the middle school mile at 5. Hayward Field officials recognition will be at 6:09. The kids half-lapper with the duck at 6:49. The Warsaw Sports Business costume relay will be at 7:15, which always leads to some of the greatest visuals you will ever see, by the way. The Wade Bell 800 meters, the aforementioned event, will be at 8:05. The UO seniors will be recognized at 8:20, and then the Bill McChesney Jr. 1,500 meters will be at 8:52. Field events will be highlighted by the Oregon pole vault crew, beginning with the women's competition at 4:45. And reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, Kobe Lawrence, is entered in the men's discus as well. The Ducks postseason begins in Eugene with the Big Ten championships June 16th through 18th. And I'll tell you what, May 5th, 16th through 18th, followed by the NCAA West final round, or West first round, May 28th through 31st in College Station, Texas. The top 12 in each event at the regional meets will then advance to the NCAA championships June 11th through 14th, also at Hayward Field. Sorry about that. The date's actually wrong in our information. The Big Ten championships are May 16th through 18th at Hayward Field, before the NCAA West regionals, the final days in the month of May, and then back at Hayward Field for the NCAA championships in June. Tickets for the Oregon Twilight and both those postseason meets in Eugene are currently on sale at GoDucks.com. The Oregon Twilight is always so fun. It's a great blend of Hayward magic for all ages with some amazing collegiate events. Special night, and it's always the perfect weather. It's always the perfect weather with a beautiful sunset that you can see. The Twilight is aptly named at Hayward Field. That's tonight. It gets underway at 4 o'clock at Hayward Field. Congratulations to all the Duck softball players and Coach Lombardi for the postseason honors. Oregon baseball today with a fan fest beginning at 3 o'clock. And also Oregon men's golf will be in action beginning on Monday when we return, sitting down with the Oregon men's golf head coach Casey Martin, heading to the NCAA regionals that start Monday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't
friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son?
It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Meet day at Hayward Field and game day at PK Park. And, of course, Oregon men's golf is in the NCAA regionals again. Casey Martin's been the head coach at Oregon for 19 years now. He has been to 18 regionals. The only time that he hasn't been to a regional, there wasn't one in 2020. Literally every time Casey Martin has gotten the Ducks to an NCAA regional. And they're playing on Monday. Talked with him earlier this week before the Ducks hit the road, getting ready for yet another NCAA tournament, NCAA regional with Casey Martin. Anytime we get Casey Martin in the Country Financial Studio, it is a good day. Oregon men's golf head coach. You know, I've said this, Coach, now multiple times, that if there is anything consistent in the world, it is that Casey Martin's team is going to go to postseason and you get to do it again, huh?
Yeah,
Thanks
let's
for
go.
being here.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I am doing very well. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to postseason again, Coach. We'll talk about that. But for fans that are maybe checking in now that postseason's here, review the season for us. What was it like out there this year?
You know what? I've been happy with my guys' efforts and where we're at. I knew this year could be a bit of a challenge because we lost 3 seniors last year, and I'd kind of, through COVID and the reshuffle of all that, I kind of had stored up for last year. And so this year felt like not a rebuild, but just a reboot a little bit. So the guys have competed so well. And we've had some young guys step up, which has been amazing. We're right there. We need to play amazing to advance. But we can do it. And I think the guys feel that and they sense it, and we're gearing up trying to make it happen.
Well, and you talk about, you know, the build up into postseason. Well, here we are talking about 4 members of your team being recognized by the Big Ten Conference. Let's maybe start with Grayson Leach, all Big Ten first team, and put together a heck of a stretch for you down the stretch of the season, didn't he?
He really has. He's an exceptional ball striker. He's a kid that if you came to watch a round of golf for the Ducks, you'd pick him out.
Really?
You know, just from listening to it, and he really strikes the ball well, and he's really developed his whole game over time. He's a hard worker, great kid, and it's good to see him get that recognition. He deserves it. And so we're going to rely heavily on him back in Auburn for sure.
Well, I wanted to go back, too, and maybe unpack it for a moment. Like the way that he played in the Big Ten championships, Coach. What'd you take away from another great performance for your team?
It was great. That last round at Big Tens was one of the toughest days that I've been through as a head coach.
Really?
You know, I've done this for a long time, and when you're playing a golf course like that, it's an old school golf course, tilted greens, and it was blowing 25 at least, and it was really, really tough. And not Aiden, but Grayson hit some of the best shots I've ever seen him hit in the wind. Just these low, little, really advanced shots that are extremely high difficulty. And he one time hit the flag and almost went in, and another time hit it to 6 inches. On 2 of the hardest shots I've seen, just dead into the wind, he had kick-in birdies. So that was pretty special to see. I know he knew how good those were, and you could see it on his face. And as a coach, when you see a player kind of have that moment like of joy over a shot, it's pretty cool.
Well, and headed now into the postseason regionals, we'll talk more about that with Casey Martin. But to continue on that point, like you and I have said before, playing golf in Oregon can be an advantage when you end up in one of those environments, right? Was this another example to add to kind of your list of that?
I think so. We don't see a ton of wind in Oregon, but we do get adversity, you know, and so having to slog through some bad weather conditions, some tough golf course conditions. If you do it a lot, you kind of develop some grit that you can't fake. So we try to use that for our advantage. I mean, there's obviously a flip side to that. You got to get your reps in, and you don't want to discourage everyone so they go hit the portal. But it does help. If you can get a team that buys in and fights through that, they're going to be rewarded with some grit that really helps.
Continuing on the roster front, Eric Doyle and Aiden Kraft, both second team from the conference this year.
They did great. Eric's had a really nice year. He's sputtered a little bit at the end, but he was really a rock for us in this winter time. And again, he and Grayson have been here 4 years, have done everything right. They're awesome kids, and we're going to rely heavily on them at regionals. And then Aiden's had a great year too. He's Aiden's in his third year, so he's a veteran golfer, but he was late developer, late kid to golf, and so I still feel like he's really young and raw, and he's been doing a really nice job, and winning a tournament this year and kind of taking his game to another level. So to have those guys, those have been my big three all year. We've really relied heavily on them, and we will continue to.
Well, boy, I'm glad that you brought up like the big three, because for me, like, doing the reviews of how the tournaments have gone, it just seemed like it was so consistent, Coach. I mean, that's hard to do in your sport, isn't it?
It is. They've been great, and we've struggled a little bit early on in the season to get a consistent 4 and 5, but I think we've got that now. A young freshman, Bright, has really stepped up and done a nice job, and then Jay Healy's done a great job. Jay finished top 10 at Big Tens and has really worked his fanny off, and so it's fun to see all those guys get some recognition, get some success, but we're going to have to put it all together. There's no like playing okay to get through. We have the ability to advance at Auburn, but we have to be at our very best, and so like I said, we're gearing up for that, and the kids know it, and I think they're excited for it.
You mentioned, though, like settling into that rotation. I know as a coach that's always a constant challenge, isn't it? And it's probably nice to have a little bit more clarity heading into postseason.
It is, because we have a fairly big roster, and so there's been a lot of guys in and out, and trying to develop that and give confidence without pulling a guy out of a lineup is always tricky. But one thing about those guys is they really want it. They're working. They appreciate being at Oregon. We have a great group of kids, and so I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader back there.
Well, and you touched on your freshman, and so it's not a nickname. It sounds like for.
Well, he's from Thailand,
right.
And so they all get an American name,
right.
And his American name's Bright.
I have to ask you, like, is there a story there? Because I hadn't heard that, Coach.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there is a story. That's what I've always known. I mean, his full name's Ramil. But he goes by Bright, and we call him Bright. And he doesn't say a whole lot, but he
brightens up a room?
He does. He absolutely – the team adores him. He's a great kid, and he's done really well. In the fall, he wasn't doing great, and then something clicked. He just grew up and trusted his game, and so we put him in the lineup for the first time at Bandon, and he finished 6th, which is for a freshman's first team experience was great. And then we played at the Duck 2 weeks later, and he finished 3rd, and he shot 65 one round, which was a really big statement. Granted, you're playing your home course, but Eugene Country Club plays really tough for the Duck. And I remember telling to Q, my assistant, like, wow, Bright, look at this. Yeah. And then we went to Stanford, and he shot another 66 at Stanford. And he's had a bit of up and downs at times, but he's been a really pleasant surprise.
Well, you certainly see the potential with those scores, right?
Big time.
I mean, that's got to be rewarding seeing that from a freshman, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And a spot on the all-freshman team as well, and then the Duck Sportsmanship honoree. That's why I was like, okay, if you're going by Bright and you brighten up a room, that's why you get the Sportsmanship honoree.
I think you do. The team, that was a deal they asked the coaches about, but that was a no-brainer. The team loves this guy.
That's cool.
And, he doesn't say much, and he's being that he's from Thailand, his English has a little ways to go, and it partly makes him who he is,
Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach, talking through the roster. We're getting ready for their trip to NCAA regionals that begin Monday. We'll continue with Casey Martin when we come back here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. And Dave, I'll answer your question.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Dave asking, can you talk about the activities at FanFest tonight at PK Park, the baseball game against the Huskies? I sure can, Dave. Okay, there will be food trucks. There will be music. There will be beer. Disclaimer, you cannot bring the beverage that you purchase at FanFest into PK Park. However, if the Ducks hit 2 home runs at PK Park tonight, $2 beers. As Mark Wazakowski has put it now a few times when we've talked about that on our Toyota Coach's Corner pregame interview, whoever came up with that promotion should get a raise. Good stuff, Waz. There will also be, I think, just some various games, like lawn games around that area between PK Park and Pape Field. But yeah, music, DJ, just good vibes. Kind of like imagine like a toned down Autzen tailgate. That's, I think, kind of the vibe that'll be going on at PK Park here tonight. Oregon baseball against Washington. A 5:45 pregame show for us on the Oregon Sports Network. Just after 6 o'clock, Ducks will throw the first pitch against the Dogs. This is a great pitching matchup, by the way. So Grayson Grinsell lost after throwing a complete game in a true pitcher's duel in East Lansing last week. Joseph Jerwa was great on the hill for Michigan State. Washington's starter tonight has not lost a game in Big Ten play. Grayson Grinsell has put together one of the best resumes for a conference pitcher of the year, and he gets the ball for the Ducks tonight. Whoever wins this matchup could be the Big Ten pitcher of the year. Cade Obermueller is on my list as well. Iowa. Grayson Grinsell gets a shot against him next week. But Grayson Grinsell's right there. The season statistics all back up that he's been one of the best. And it's really staggering what he's done and consistently, particularly in Big Ten games. But yeah, Washington has not lost on a Friday in Big Ten play. Big time matchup here coming up tonight. Casey Martin also getting ready for the NCAA regionals. Men's golf regionals begin on Monday. The women's golf team has already advanced to the NCAA championship. We're going to talk with Derek Radley on the show next week before his squad plays down in Carlsbad. Let's continue our conversation, though, on the men's side with head coach Casey Martin. You mentioned the large roster. I did want to ask you about that. This is one of your bigger ones over the years, isn't it?
It has, coming out of COVID. And one thing that I've had amazing success with kind of walk-on / small scholarship kids that have wanted to come to Oregon instead of maybe taking a bigger scholarship to a smaller school.
Sure.
I've got a real soft spot in my heart for those kids because they have formed part of my program that I look back on some of my best players. I'm like, what would I have done if I didn't take this guy?
Yeah.
And so I've taken a few of them. Obviously, with what's going on, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And the guys feel that it's been one heaviness to the season is just like, how many can I keep? And the guys all know it. So that part hasn't been ideal. But I've just had a lot of young men step up that have just desperately wanted to be at Oregon and have sacrifice financially to be here to do it. And it's, like I said, I look back through my years of coaching and how blessed I've been to have some of these kids that have agreed to do that. They've been the core of my program.
Gosh, as a coach, I can only imagine too what that's like, that relationship of, because you're building young people, right? That's what you're doing, and I'm sure they look back now and they probably call you and say, "Coach, who's the next one?" Right? I imagine that's part of your culture.
Absolutely, and apart from being a coach and wanting to win championships and all this stuff, you also have this role of being around kids and trying to educate them and play a role in their lives, right? And to see how many kids have done that, if I were an employer, those are the kids I would hire. They may not all play the PGA Tour, obviously, but those are the kids that are going to kill it because they came here, they didn't complain, they worked so hard to get on the lineup, and those qualities go so far in life, and we've had a ton of them. So that's a very rewarding thing to be a part of.
It's a similar mindset. I think you'll appreciate this. Like Coach Altman at Senior Day, I always ask him about his support, like student managers, right? Yeah. And every year, seriously, every year that I've asked him about this, Coach Altman's always like, if you're going to hire somebody, you go hire the student managers because they are selfless. They just love the game. They love to compete. It's a similar type of mindset, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Those are the qualities. Education's important, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But when you get out in life, it's not really you're remembering calculus all the time to get you to the next level. It's relating to adults, relating to your peers, working hard, showing up, battling through adversity. Those things really translate in life, and that's what sports is. Beyond just Oregon, just sports in general, it's a huge part of the success of just that American culture of working hard and getting to the top.
Yeah, Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach. So now the number 6 seed in the Auburn Regional.
Yeah.
What do we know about the golf course, Coach?
Yeah, I did a little research. It's long, it's narrow, it's difficult. A lot of the qualities we should be somewhat used to in the sense we play tree-lined golf courses, and when you play Eugene Country Club in the winter, it's long. So that part doesn't concern me. The number one challenge we're going to have, we got a lot of travel to do.
Right.
Most of the teams back there driving to it, right? So we have some travel issues, but the biggest thing that we'll have to face are adjusting to the grasses. And that's the sneaky thing. If you don't play a lot of golf, if you're just looking as an outsider, you don't realize how much the grass can really affect the shot and how to read it, how to play it. And so when you're trying to play at a high level, these little things play a big role, and so we're trying to simulate that, but you can't do it perfectly. So we're going to go a day early, which we're allowed to do, and we'll try to use every rep we can to really get used to understanding how to read those lies, because it is really the biggest part of the game for us going back there.
We actually talked about this for those that maybe don't remember. We talked about this last year because you were the number 4 seed in Baton Rouge, and it was kind of a similar conversation, right? So another year you're going to the Southeast. Does that help that you've done it relatively recently? Does it not matter? I don't know, Coach.
It doesn't hurt that we've done it. These kids have seen it, but it's a massive challenge. We have got the lockdown on getting shipped to the East Coast in the Southeast. It's unbelievable the amount of times where there's a regional 100 miles away we could drive to, and yet we've got to go to Tallahassee or Auburn or Ocala or whatever. It's not easy. I'm not complaining. Very happy. But it's our challenge. We got to get ready for it, and that will be the story for us.
18th consecutive postseason appearance, so you must be doing something right.
Man, thanks. I appreciate that. It's doesn't go. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Does that sink in for you though? Honestly, you're now an adult in terms of the amount of time that you've made it to the postseason consecutively, Coach.
Yeah, it's amazing. That part's been really, really fun. I'm very grateful for that.
Now, Auburn, Texas A&M, UCLA, SMU, Georgia Tech, Oregon, Purdue, Little Rock, TCU, Charleston, New Mexico State, Loyola Maryland, and USC Upstate. Does it matter who else is in the regional, Coach?
No, it's just total coach cliche, but it's us.
Yeah.
We just got to play well, take care of our business, play it the best we can, and let it see where. If we play really well, we can totally advance. If we don't play well, we're not going to, and it's that simple.
Yeah.
And so the challenge is just to get the guys geared up to reach their potential and to go for it and to be freed up. So as a coach, I need to do a great job in making them play free and loose and have fun and handle that pressure, because regionals feels totally different than any other event all year.
Monday, May 12th, action gets rolling for regionals. You mentioned it feels a little like you talk about that as a coach with the team. You tell them, like, hey, I know this is different. How do you approach that mental side of the game?
Just talk it through and really address it so they're not caught blindsided. Now, I've got some guys that have been there.
Right, they've done it.
So that they'll be ready for that. But just to remind them that, look, it feels different, and you can be scared or you can really have fun with it. And to me, this is the kind of golf that, as a coach, you really you get excited for, because I love seeing the guys compete and going through our schedule. We play great courses, great tournaments, but regionals, it's just a different vibe. It's really intense. It feels like Q school when I was playing, which, it can be a lot over your shoulder, but it gets those juices going.
Sure. Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach. Hey, thank you as always.
Always, appreciate it.
Best of luck. And then I know that we'll be talking about all things beyond golf after a deep run into the postseason because, again, the biggest Oregon football fan, biggest University of Oregon athletics fan is sitting here in the studio right now.
It's a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's a little bit of a problem.
No, no.
It's a problem. I love it.
It's your passion.
It is my passion.
Your passion.
I love the Ducks. I've loved the Ducks since I remember sitting behind the bench in basketball and football all my life growing up here. So to see where we're at now compared to where we were when I was a young kid, it's really cool. But it's, I need to keep it in perspective.
It's a passion. Hey, the fact that your passion, though, both on and off the professional trail is similar, I imagine that's pretty fun.
No, it's been such a cool thing to be here. I mean, I think if I was coaching somewhere else, it would just feel not right, So I'm really grateful to be here. But, again, I need to keep it in perspective.
Well, again, 18
I need to be nicer to the officials, too, at basketball games.
Well, hey, again.
That's a problem.
Passion.
That's right.
Passion.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach. Hey, thank you for being here. Safe travels. Best of luck out there.
Appreciate it.
I'm serious when I say he is like the biggest Duck fan ever. Casey Martin, one of the best. Good luck to him and his squad. Hope that we're previewing a national championship round here coming up as well. Casey Martin and the Ducks are in action on Monday. We'll have some updates for you throughout next week here on Duck Insider. When we come back, let's zero back in on Oregon baseball. Ducks hunting for a Big Ten regular season title here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Jack was asking earlier, Jada Ross and Manny Elmore will either be available for track and field this season. That's a good question, Jack. I don't know. And truthfully, looking at the entrants tonight, the Ducks have not yet posted publicly all of their entrants for the Twilight tonight. But for Jada Ross and Manny Elmore, two of the bigger names, of course, around Oregon track and field, I don't know is the short answer and my only answer to that question. Meanwhile, Eric was asking, is this the year the Ducks baseball team goes to the College World Series? God, I hope so, Eric. Oh, it would be so much fun to get there. I think that this team, I'll say this, back-to-back super regionals, that's valuable. There's a lot of guys on this roster that were there. Even if they weren't starters, big-time players, whatever, like, they've been there. They know what that length of season is like. They know what the environment is like. And that's where I think it's so valuable to potentially host at PK Park. These games down the stretch of the regular season really matter for that postseason resume to host at PK Park because the environment has been awesome at PK Park this year. The Ducks have already broken the attendance record. Shout out to you all, the fans. Ducks have broken the attendance record cumulative at PK Park this year. In a 3-game regular season series, best attendance we've ever seen when the Ducks hosted Oregon State. That was a record for a 3-game regular season series. I think that this team has the experience, and I think that this team does have the pitching depth, especially of late. The team ERA the last 3 weeks is under 3. In fact, approaching 2, depending on how things go this weekend. The Ducks have really played the bullpen well. Grayson Grinsel's a candidate for Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, perhaps an All-American, Grayson Grinsel. The Ducks have settled in with the weekend rotation. Colin Clark's been solid on Saturdays. Jason Wright has been really good since joining the rotation regularly on Sundays. I think the Ducks have a lot of pieces, and the offense continues to just be really, really good. Now, I will tell you today, what Mark Wasikowski wants to see is not just home runs. He wants to see a sustained offense, and the small ball will have to work in Oregon's favor tonight. But the Ducks have done that this year. They've had examples of games where the sustained offense, scoring in a variety of ways, has been a real strength. Is this the year? I hope so. It's really hard to get there. A lot of good teams. Things got to go your way. Any given day, weird stuff can happen. All the cliches. But I think this team is talented enough and has the potential and has put together the resume to aid their effort in the postseason by potentially being at home at PK Park. 6 o'clock tonight, Oregon faces Washington. After the win on Wednesday, Chase Megers discussed where the Ducks are at, some of the takeaways from this midweek series, and getting ready for the Dogs who are in town tonight. Chase Megers meeting with the media.
Felt good. It felt good to, be back. Been going through some stuff, struggles, and Martyr told me something before my second at-bat, and it stuck with me, and I made an adjustment, and it felt really good to, get those 2 knocks.
What have some of those struggles been? Obviously, like, you can see the on-field thing, but what have you been trying to work on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I try not to ever use these as excuses because, it's a distraction and all that, but, I've had a couple finger issues and hand issues at the start of the season, and I just haven't felt like myself. And I just been trying to get back and watch videos from last year because I hit really well last year, and I got back to that, and it's been working.
What was it that Martyr told you?
He just said shorten up a little bit with my stride. I was a little bit too wide at the start. He said narrow up through the shortstop, and I hit the ball pretty much at the shortstop, so it was good.
No walks as a pitching staff tonight. What kind of pride do you take in that as a catcher?
Yeah, it's always good to hear that the pitchers are, shoving and there's no walks. It just shows that their character. I have a little bit of something to do with it, but I think that shows how, as a whole, our pitching staff is they just want to win, and they're getting it better, and they know that that's what it takes to win.
You get up the first time with the bases loaded, guy makes a nice play, you fly out. How grateful were you, how excited to get a second opportunity with the bases juiced?
Yeah, it's always good to come up with bases loaded, and, I just treat it like a a normal at bat, just see the ball, try to barrel it up, and it didn't happen the first AB, and then good things happen when you just barrel up the ball.
St. Mary's had a small village pitching for them tonight. What kind of challenge is there in that? Like every time you get up there, you're facing a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, we do a good job. Gavin and Marta do a good job of kind of telling us, you know, what the pitchers have and what they throw. And it's not easy just going against new guys every inning, but, you know, we're taught to barrel up the ball and just do what we can, and it works.
How are you feeling physically now? You mentioned the finger ailments and the hand ailments. How are you feeling now?
I feel great. I'm ready to go. Yeah, crunch time.
First time we got to see Tanner out of the pen in a little while. What was it like kind of catching him for his first outing in, I think, 3 or so months?
Dude's legit, man. Just because somebody's on the bench doesn't mean that they don't have good stuff. Sometimes just things don't work out. And he's been waiting for his opportunity, and today it showed that he's been ready and he's been working hard. One of the best changeups I've seen in a long time, and he came ready to go, and I'm not surprised.
Cohen starts off the first few innings at catcher, makes a difference, and then you step in and also make a difference. What's that connection like with him?
Yeah, you know, I always root for the guys in front of me. You know, it's always good to see, especially as a freshman. It's not easy. You know, he has been playing a lot, and he comes out and acts like he's been playing every day, which is awesome. And, you know, when there's a lefty pitching and he bangs lefties, he goes out there, and then when a righty comes in, they expect me to come in. And I think that's the standard for our team, and that shows how good we are and how depthy we are in a lot of positions.
Real team leader, I'm telling you, in Chase Megers. And the catching spot has been one that the Ducks have platooned a bit lately. But don't forget, Chase Megers is pretty open there about some of the struggles. I mean, it happens, right? Injuries are the worst part of sports. But don't forget that Chase Megers was Oregon's leading hitter last year, and at the end of the season was one of the best in the country in terms of batting average and big hits with runners in scoring position, and he always seemed to turn in good at bats. If he heats up down the stretch, what a difference that could make for Oregon's lineup. And Chase Megers, too, I appreciated the question that was asked to him about being the catcher who catches the game when the pitching staff does not allow a walk for the first time all season. That's the growth of this pitching staff. And talking about that pitching staff, Julian Hernandez got the start, went 3 innings, struck out 5. A guy who was a conference pitcher of the year at a lower level of collegiate baseball, transferring into Oregon, showed a little confidence on the mound. He met with the media after his nice win over St. Mary's on Wednesday.
How'd you feel out there?
Pretty good. Nice win today.
What was working for you on the mound then?
Attacking zone, throwing strikes, getting ahead of batters.
I haven't seen you in a little bit. You had some struggles earlier in the year. Just kind of what was the process to try to, you know, settle down and hit the zone more consistently? Like, what did you and Hawk kind of work on?
Trusting my stuff, attacking the zone, just trying to get ahead, just letting my stuff play.
Any like mechanical adjustment in there, or is it more of the mental side?
Just get after it more mentally.
Career high in strikeouts for you tonight. How does that build momentum for you for the rest of the year?
It was a good win. Strikeouts are strikeouts, but just keep doing my best, keep throwing strikes, and keep attacking batters.
What have you seen from Cohen behind the dish?
He's awesome. He really works really hard for us, and at practice, in the bullpens, everything. He works hard for us, and he steals the strikes, and it's awesome to see that.
We heard from Waz that Hawk really pushed for you to get the ball tonight in the start after some good bullpen sessions. I'm curious what's kind of been going on behind the scenes for you. What have you been really trying to tinker with and building up to this point?
Just throwing more strikes, getting my stuff in the zone, trusting my stuff, and letting it play.
There's a lot of consistency in the bullpen in the last couple weeks compared to what it was in early April. Just how is the confidence level with you guys in the bullpen here recently?
We've just been getting after it every day, and I think the results speak for themselves.
I agree. Julian Hernandez, I mean, speaking there about, I'm serious. You talk about the growth over the last few weeks, and he's right. It is an example of you get after it. And Mark Wasikowski said this after the game, too, in reference to him and Tanner Bradley, that those are two guys that have performed well behind the scenes. Now we got a chance to see it. You have a little more confidence. And I talked to Waz today for our Toyota Coaches Corner coming up here at 5:45 tonight. Julian Hernandez had a little more pep in his step after that 3-inning, 5-strikeout performance. You love to see that. We'll get a quick timeout when we come back, getting ready for more Oregon baseball and the weekend schedule here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby.
Final segment of Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here on a Friday. Getting ready for Duck baseball tonight. Also Oregon track and field in the Oregon Twilight at Hayward Field beginning at 4 o'clock the meet this evening. And about a 5-hour event at Hayward Field. Should be a lot of fun with a lot of different activities going on. Fan Fest for Oregon baseball begins at 3 o'clock today and 11 o'clock tomorrow, 3 hours before the Friday and Saturday games, each of them for Oregon baseball. A little Fan Fest going on around PK Park. Jason Wrights will get the ball on Sunday. And hopefully the Ducks will be going for a sweep when he gets the ball. Jason Wrights previewed this matchup between the Ducks and the Huskies that's got some big-time Big Ten title implications.
Have you guys dived into Washington yet?
No. I mean, the coaches maybe have, but we haven't.
The last couple of starts that you've had have been, the grind against Oregon State. We were out there for a while, and then this past weekend against Michigan State. How have you found some footing here as a starter?
I mean, yeah, staying in the starting role it's definitely easier to get in the groove when you're doing the same thing every week. But just keeping with the same mentality and not looking ahead and not looking at the past, just staying within the moment.
Was there kind of a difficult transition going from the starter in the 4-game series back to the bullpen, or did that just kind of, I don't know, was there an issue with that at all?
No, I've come out of the bullpen before, and it's just I'm going to do whatever the team needs, and that's what they needed for me to go to the bullpen for a bit, so that's what I took on.
What's been working, I guess, on the mound then, just stuff-wise?
Just throwing strikes. Attacking hitters is just a mentality, and the biggest stride for me has honestly just been next pitch, regardless of the result of the pitch before, just being able to flush that and step on the mound and go after the next guy.
These last two regular season series, obviously they're really big for Big Ten seeding and standings as you enter the tournament. Is that something you guys are talking about at all, tournament seeding and standing?
Tournament seeding, no. We take each game, game by game, where we know what we have to do, but we show up to the field every day and it's focused on today. So.
Is there a different kind of energy in the locker room right now with Washington coming up, or is it kind of just business as usual?
Business as usual. I mean, it's obviously a big series for us, but we're just, taking it like we normally do and really staying focused.
We've heard from a couple of guys who have seen starts and, had bullpen stints that the emphasis is just throwing more strikes. I'm curious, what did that look like more for you? Was that a certain pitch that you were tinkering with the command of, or the arsenal as a whole? I'm just curious.
Just a mindset. Honestly, it's all up here. There's the stuff. You can look at that stuff, but it's really about how you go out there on the mound and just attack hitters, regardless of the stuff.
What is that mindset for you then? When you're out there on the mound, what is it compared to maybe what it was earlier in the year?
Just more attack, like more aggressive, going after each hitter, not being timid or worried about what just happened or worried about runners on base. Just focusing on this pitch ahead of you and being in the present moment.
Hawk has talked a lot in the past about the mental approach to pitching. Just what's it been like working here with him this first year for you?
I mean, yeah, he's great. It's not something I've really worked on before coming here, not with a coach, but I think not just for me, but for everyone, people are really starting to buy in, and I think we can see that.
Have you given any draft considerations, or is this still just you're in the season?
I mean, it's a thing, but it's not something I think about or want to think about right now. I want to focus on what's in front of me.
What's more difficult to do, find pants that are long enough or shoes that are big enough?
Pants. I got a pretty normal shoe size. I'm only 14, so.
Oh, only a 14.
Only 14.
What are your thoughts on NBA draft instead of MLB?
I suck at basketball. I'm not good, so.
I get it, though, for Jason Wrights. He's 6'11" out there on the mound. I thought that was funny. Got a good chuckle out of Jason Wrights on that one. Oregon baseball tonight, FanFest, 3 o'clock around PK Park, 6 o'clock first pitch. Oregon Twilight this evening at Hayward. And we've got Oregon softball finding out some selection destination on Sunday. See you at PK this weekend.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.